Huh?
It's only 8:58.
Well, I was told that I can continue.
Timekeepers.
So I hope everybody had a very nice holidays and New Year's, and welcome to 2024 and our first meeting. If we can go on and look at the meeting, at the previous meetings.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
May I call?
Oh, I'm sorry, roll call. Thank you. First meeting of the year. I forgot the procedure. Sherry, if you can do the roll call.
Mr. DeLarange?
Present.
Ms. Group?
Present.
Ms. Tornatore?
Present.
Mr. Horian?
Here.
Mr. Lilly?
Here.
Alternate Mr. Desai?
Here.
And alternate Mr. Pollard?
Here.
Thank you, Sherry, for getting me straight. Now we go on for the meetings from the meeting notes from last meeting. Planning and zoning meeting notes from December 11th, 2023. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Second it.
Thank you. We don't need a roll call for that, right?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you. Now we have a quasi judicial hearing. Before we start, any ex parte communication by any member?
No.
Before we start, any ex parte communication by any
My
member?
apologies.
All right. Any statement?
Chair, if you could just swear in anyone who's going to speak during the presentation.
For those people that are going to do the presentation, can you please stand up to be sworn in?
Well, just for clarification, this is Rob Merrill with the Cobb Cole Law Firm. Don't intend to testify as to any facts, just going to be here to make a presentation as the attorney for the case. I'm happy to swear in, but never have.
That's fine. As an attorney, you're fine.
So one of you should swear in.
Yeah.
So if we have questions for any of these guys, we'll swear them in. If you guys want to do it now, we can do that, just in case you have questions for them. So you guys go ahead. Larry?
It wouldn't hurt to swear them in if you better to
Jim?
not need it than need it not.
Just in case.
All
All
right.
right, everyone, please raise their right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth during today's hearing?
Thank you. All righty. Stuart, you got the spotlight.
Can I have your assistance for a minute, please? Trying to get to the. Good morning, Mr. Chair, board members. Happy New Year. For the record, my name is Stuart Cruz, Community Services Director with the City of Daytona Beach Shores. The project that we have before us on this agenda at this minute is RSP 12023-053, which is the LIV condos proposed for 3635 to 3637 South Atlantic Avenue. The owner applicant is SA 2011 LLC, and the owner is SA 2011 LLC, and the applicant is Shipra Seashore Development LLC. The property is about 1.26 of an acre. Basically, it's an irregular property, more or less 200 by 274. The zoning district for this property is a dual zoning district, which is primarily found on the east side of South Atlantic Avenue, which is T-RMF-1, the hotel, motel, multifamily residential high density district. The future land use is high intensity, and the current land use or uses on the property is the Tuscany Villas establishment, along with a vacant parcel, which is to the south, and I'll show you that in an overhead in a few minutes, or maybe a couple seconds. As I mentioned, it's a 74-unit multifamily residential condominium development. So up here in the green where the star is, this is where we are right now. And if you take a drive down south on South Atlantic Avenue, the site is about 1.8 miles south of here on the east side of South Atlantic Avenue. It's basically a 4-minute drive from where we are today. just north of the Sunglow Pier. This is an aerial view of the site. It's just south, immediately south of Atlantic Terrace Timeshares and just north of Current Shores South. And if you're familiar with Mad Dog Surf Shop, for those of you who have been in this area for a while, it's just across the street. And as I mentioned earlier, there is a vacant piece of parcel that's associated with the development site. And just to the north of that vacant piece of parcel, right here, is the Tuscany Villas establishment. So this is a street view of the site. Again, this is the Tuscany Villas establishment, and this is the vacant piece of parcel that's associated with the site. So this is the proposed site plan. The site plan was done by the applicant's engineer, Upham Incorporated, and I just added some lines. Hopefully they look pretty and they make it a little bit clearer. But essentially, again, you have a 200 frontage along South Atlantic Avenue on this property, and this is the building footprint in blue that you see here. It's set back 58 feet, more or less, from South Atlantic Avenue, and on both sides it's about 56 and 57 feet, respectively, from the south and the north side, and it's set back 53 feet, more or less, from the seawall. So you'll notice that there are two access points to this property. The one on the north actually takes you up onto the parking deck, and the one on the south actually takes you down into the underground parking garage. So this is a proposed elevation that was provided in the package of what the building should look like from street view. In terms of the site plan summary analysis, what I handed out earlier, because it unfortunately wasn't uploaded in the staff package, this is a summary of that handout that I just gave to you. The handout I just gave to you is more detailed, but this is a summary analysis of the various criteria that has to be met in order for a site plan to be approved on this particular site. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a proposed multifamily residential development, and that is an allowable use in this zoning district. The number of units for this site is 74, whereas the maximum number of units on the site that's permitted is 76. The unit sizes vary anywhere from 1685 to 2153 square feet. The breakdown of the units is 3 and 3s and 4 and 3s, meaning 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and in one case we saw a unit style that was 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. And in terms of the square footage that's allowed per unit, it varies based on the number of units, the number of bedrooms that are actually associated with the unit. And as you can see, everything down here on the right-hand side, the status is checked in green because it actually meets the code. But I'll just go down real quickly. The summary analysis, in terms of the green area, you can see that that particular criterion is exceeded by the developer. The lot coverage is less than what the maximum permitted on the site is. And there is one additional parking space on site relative to what is required based on the number of units on the site. In terms of the setbacks, I briefly mentioned some of those earlier, but you can see that all of those are met. The highlighted note that you see to the bottom, the proposed plan is consistent with the comprehensive plan and all the land development code requirements. And so for me, this is relatively easy to recommend approval. This is proposed landscape plan, which basically shows the required number of tree mixture, the number of trees, the green area, and buffering and all that that's required from the landscape component. And as you can see, all that is met. And this is just a reiteration that the comprehensive plan is, the proposed plan is consistent with comprehensive plan. The public due notice requirements have been met and submitted for the record to the city clerk. And the requisite staff review, including engineering review, has been completed, and all staff comments have been satisfied. And as I was mentioning earlier, it is relatively simple and easy for staff to recommend approval of this project. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to take those. And as you can see, there's a very huge team here from the developer side to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Stuart. Any questions for Stuart and staff?
That's for me.
None? Okay. Thank you.
Move on with the applicant presentation.
Again, for the record, Rob Merrill with the Cobb Cole Law Firm, 149 South Ridgewood. Sorry you missed your breakfast this morning, but in the mix-up, but glad to be here for you guys. I've got Jim Mack here with me. Jim, I think this is his 5th oceanfront project in the shore, so somebody with an incredible track record. Larry Robinson, I don't know, what have you done, 100 or 2 a beach here in Volusia County? And Roger Stakula, our civil engineer, also to answer any questions you guys have. As Stuart said, I mean, you guys have one of the best in the business over here, I think, other than his wife. Penny, she's probably my favorite, but Stuart does a great job. And he was checking boxes when he was showing this stuff to you guys. And we're here in a site plan review, kind of different than the one I was here with you guys last month, where there's some waivers and things along the way. This one is consistent with the comprehensive plan, as Stuart outlined. He checked off all of the boxes in the land development code. You guys actually have. I love having the list with the boxes literally checked. So this is really a box checking exercise, if you will. Obviously, Larry has brought you an incredible product. His handiwork is in front of you here. If you have any questions about either that or the civil engineering aspects of this, we're happy to try to answer those for you.
Staff, any questions?
No questions.
Great.
I have one question.
Sure.
When is the project supposed to start?
Jim?
Okay, we are hoping to start in May.
May. This year?
Yes. We already own the property is owned, and we've got a few hitches, but May is our goal.
That's Jim Mack for the record.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is this property going to be a condominium, or is it a condominium hotel, condominium timeshare, straight condominium?
Hold on.
That's all the question I had.
In time of conclusion, when do you anticipate for the building to be totally ready to move in?
22 months from the day we start.
22 months. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Rob.
Any other questions? All right. So we call for a public input in favor of, or any questions or any statements from the public? None? All righty. Having given that, is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this regular site plan, RSP 1202-30538 LIV, multifamily residential condominium, 3635-3637 South Atlantic Avenue.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Jerry, can you take?
Ms. Tornatori?
Yes.
Mr. Horgan?
Yes.
Ms. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Lilly?
Yes.
Mr. Talon?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks beautiful.
Very nice building.
Looks typical.
I like it.
All righty. Any action items for next meeting? Any board comments? Well, I hope we have a great year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
New Year.
Yes.
Thanks, Sherry.
I'm sorry, because I asked if there was any comments. Go ahead, Stuart.
I didn't hear you.
We have the action.
So I just wanted to again, wish you guys Happy New Year and apologize for the confusion this morning, but I also wanted to remind you, if you haven't seen the email yet from Sherry, I believe this is the 18th? At 8 o'clock. Yeah, so on January 18th is when our breakfast has actually been rescheduled. So, hopefully you guys can make it. If you have any questions, please go ahead and reach out to Sherry or myself.
And it's going to be here at 8 o'clock?
Yes.
All
BYOB?
right. Thank you, Stuart. Any other comments or questions?
Thank you.
All right.
Chair,
Yes.
you asked for public comments for that particular agenda item. It might be good to ask for any public comments for any other items.
All righty. Is there any public question or comments about any other items? So be it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Well, you made it on time.
Happy New Year.